Hello, welcome to Sweet Sparrow Knits. This is a podcast about knitting, sewing, hand dyeing yarn, spinning yarn, and whatever other crafty endeavors I can get myself interested in. I am going to tell you guys now that I am flying by the seat of my pants with this episode. I wanted to record, and I knew that if I took the time to do show notes, I probably wouldn't record because, you guys, I hate doing show notes. You've probably noticed that I no longer do show notes in the Ravelry group. I just hate them. So I figure you guys would probably rather have a podcast with no show notes than no podcast. So that's the way we're rolling. Intro stuff. So my name is Julie. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Sweet Sparrow Knits. Instagram is the better place to contact me. I don't check my Ravelry messages very often at all. And you can find my hand-dyed yarn and my project bags at sweetsparrowyarns.etsy.com. All right. I do have a finished object, just one, but it's a biggie, so I'm excited about it. My Tegna is done. It's so pretty. Oh, it has a big crease down the middle because I had it folded. Oh well. You still get the idea. So this is the Tegna pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and I knit it in my yarn in Sweet Sparrow Yarns Hummingbird Base, which is 50% non-superwash merino and 50% silk in the Blackberry Mousse colorway. I just have to weave in the ends, which I'm going to do tonight because I really want to have this available to wear, and I don't want to be weaving in the ends right before wearing it. So yes, that needs to get done, and I am so happy with this sweater. The fit of it is beautiful. I was actually planning on wearing it while recording today, but it's just too warm. That's right, folks. This is the part of the podcast where I complain about being too hot. It's a staple. You'd miss it if I didn't do it. No, actually, I am happy to report that since it's summer, the radiator that I complain about in pretty much every episode is finally not producing heat anymore, which is great. And I have wrangled my window unit air conditioner into my bedroom window, and I'm good to go. You shouldn't have to hear about the radiator for another, 5 months. Anyway, so my Tegna is done, and I love it, and I'm already considering what to use for another Tegna because I loved this pattern, and it's one of the only boxy sweaters that I've found looks good on me, the Tegna and the Ranunculus. So I'm really excited to build up my wardrobe a little bit, although I'm gonna be doing something pretty soon, you guys, that I haven't done since I was about, I don't know, maybe 19 or 20. Sorry, the ice cream truck just went by. It's loud. So I am going to be going shopping for jeans. I think most women feel that way about shopping for jeans, but I pretty much don't ever wear pants. It's dresses and skirts all the time, except for when I'm working or doing yoga, in which case I am wearing leggings. Or if I'm at the gym, I wear either leggings or like workout shorts with the longer like spandex shorts underneath. There's a mental image for you. You're welcome. So anyway, so I feel like this style of top really would look the best with something more fitted on the bottom. So I'm gonna go buy some jeans. Okay, I have one work in progress. Just one. So this is beginnings of the Foxglove cardigan by Kate Davies. Ah, it's so pretty. I am using Rauma Phenol Garn for this sweater. It is 100% wool and it is from Norway. Here's the label. Okay. Anytime now. There we go. This is yarn that I purchased at Vogue Knitting Live. I was enabled by Ellie of the Skein Deer Knits podcast, who is just wonderful, by the way. I'm so happy that we got to hang out in person, and I am simultaneously so bummed that we live so far apart. Because I don't know, we just clicked. Anyway, so I am currently I just started the bust shaping. This is a bottom-up colorwork yoke sweater, and I'm just so crazy about how this yarn is knitting up. The heathering in it is so beautiful, and after knitting the Tegna, hi, hello, hey, okay, there we go. After knitting the Tegna with my hummingbird base, which as I mentioned is 50% silk, I just was really in the mood to knit with some woolly, toothy wool. And this definitely fits the bill for that. But I did swatch, excitingly, and my swatch is all creased because it's been traveling in my project bag. But I'm not sure how well you'll be able to tell on camera, but after washing my swatch, it has this very sort of velvety texture as compared to the unwashed work in progress. I guess I'll find out later how well that showed up. But it's really soft and the stitches sort of blend together, which I think will be ideal for color work. So this is the body color. And it is, why am I looking at this like I can read the word color in Norwegian? I can't. Something about it is number 404, and something else about it is number 454. One of those is a color. So that's the body of the sweater. And then for the Foxglove color work, I'm going to be doing the background part of the yoke in this beautiful soft blue. And I will be doing the roots and the stems and leaves of the foxgloves in this gorgeous olive. And then the foxglove pattern is designed to have one color of the actual foxglove blossoms, but I really felt like it needed another color. So originally my thought was to do only this purple for the blossoms, but I don't know, I felt like it needed a little something warm to kind of go with this warm olive green. So I added in a mustard color, and I'm going to print out the chart and, well, I mean, I have computer skills. Maybe I'll just do it in Photoshop. I want to go through and color in every other row of the blossoms so that half of them are purple and half of them are yellow. And I think it's going to be really pretty. And I'm very excited to wear this sweater, as you can probably tell because I am zooming on this. I went to the Washington County Farm and Fiber Tour retreat last weekend, and I'll talk more about that in a little while. But when I started on that, I mean last weekend, not like 3 days ago, the weekend before that. So when I went to the retreat, I had 2 rows of this ribbing left to do, and since then at the retreat and afterward, I have knit the entire rest of this. So I'm definitely highly motivated to work on this. In fact, it's been just like living on the side of my couch, so that way if I have a few free minutes or when I'm done with everything for the day and I'm ready for some cozy knitting time, it is right there. It's actually the only project that I brought with me on the retreat, which is very unusual because I usually pack a lot of projects. And actually, once I got there, I finished the ribbing the first night at the retreat, and I went to switch to my larger needle for the main body of the sweater, and I suddenly remembered taking it out and of my project bag and putting it on my couch, being like, oh, I must have left these needles in there from my last project. Oh. I was at a knitting retreat with nothing to knit. But luckily, Sarah, one of the lovely, lovely ladies who was at the retreat, had an extra size 6 needle, which she was kind enough to lend to me, and she came to the rescue. And the next day I was able to purchase some new interchangeable tips, and all was well. I did not lose hours and hours of valuable knitting time. Okay, so I usually do shop stuff at the end, but I think I'm going to do it right now. So that way, if you're less interested in the Farm and Fiber tour, which I don't know why you would be, but maybe you are, then you don't have to sit through that just to get to the shop info stuff. So just a couple quick things for the shop. Advent calendars. Thank you guys so much for your support of my advent calendars. They're so much fun to do. I've already started dyeing them, and I'm just so excited about them. So there will be 25 more advent calendars available in the shop on July 1st at noon Eastern Time. You might remember that I have divided up the availability of advent calendars so that it's not a situation where if you're not available at a specific date and a specific time, and it's a one-shot deal, then you're kind of out of luck. I wanted to make it so that people can find a date that works with their schedule and with their financial situation, because it's not a small purchase. It's about the same price as a sweater quantity of higher end yarn. I don't know why I'm dancing around this. It's not like you can't see the price. It's $135 plus shipping that's calculated based on your shipping address. But anyway, I really wanted to make it as available as possible so that people had, the chance to get it if they wanted it. So, yeah, the last round will be in the shop on July 1st, and I'm not going to be doing any additional spots after that. I was kind of able to last year, but since I am offering quite a few more this year due to demand from last year, I am not going to be able to fit in any extras. So I would recommend being ready at your computer at noon Eastern Time on July 1st. Because they do sell out quite quickly, and I really don't want anyone to be disappointed by not being able to get one. So that would be my recommendation. Not to toot my own horn. It's just, I just want to make sure that you're able to get one if you want one. I have recently started carrying a new base, and it is called Feather, and it's mohair. To be exact, it is 72% mohair and 28% silk, and I absolutely love it. It has the most beautiful sheen and a gorgeous halo. It's honestly hard to tell if it's focusing just because the mohair is so fuzzy, on its own. There, I think we're good. So here's an example of the mohair in Blackberry Mousse, and here it is in Jon Snow. I've only dyed this up in 5 or 6 colors at this point, but I am planning on continuing to add more colors to the range of what's available on this base. And of course, you can always message me if you have a particular color that you would like to see on mohair. All right, I think we can get to the fun stuff. Not that everything else wasn't fun, but you guys, I just really want to talk about the Farm & Fiber tour. It was the best. It was just the best. It's the most wonderful weekend. So the Farm & Fiber tour is the Washington County Farm & Fiber tour, which is in Washington County, New York, which is maybe an hour north of Kingston. And it's a tour of a lot of fiber producing farms, the Battenkill Fiber Mill. It's wonderful. So the retreat aspect is that Sarah, who you can find on Instagram as Sarah Pomegranate, and she has the wonderful Yarns at Yin Hu podcast, she organizes a retreat to go along with the tour. This year, due to some personal issues, Sarah was not able to do the actual organizing, although thank goodness she still came as a participant because seeing her is just the best. When I grow up, I want to be Sarah. I think I'll always feel that way, even though I'm almost 28. I still want to be Sarah when I grow up. Anyway, so this year, Carol Foster from Foster Sheep Farms and Mary Jean Packer from the Battenkill Fiber Mill they stepped up and they organized and ran the retreat, which was amazing. So we stay at the St. Mary's on the Hill Retreat Center, which is by the St. Mary's on the Hill convent, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yes, they are a group of nuns who have cashmere goats, and they have buildings that you can like rent out, and that's what we do every year. It's wonderful. There's maybe 20 people who go. It's really wonderful. It's a small retreat, so I really felt like I got to spend time with everyone, which was wonderful. And then on the Saturday of the retreat, we arrive on the Friday, and then on the Saturday, we go and tour all the farms, and then Saturday night we come back and everyone hangs out and knits together, and we all show each other our purchases, and we do a raffle for what's referred to as the spirit basket, which is basically a basket of fibery goodies that we all contribute to, and then all of the proceeds go to a local fiber-related organization. I believe last year it was 4-H. This year it was, I can't remember the exact name of the organization, but basically it's working to bring visibility to the fiber arts in the Washington County area. And it's a really nice organization, and we were able to donate some money to it, so that was exciting. So first I will show you my acquisitions from the Farm & Fiber tour. Just as a side note, I went into this feeling very virtuous because I thought, oh, I'm not going to buy anything. Maybe if I find one special skein. I think we all know how that turned out. There's a reason there's a tote bag sitting next to me on the couch right now. Oh well, it's fine. Okay, so my first purchase is covered in cat hair because my overstuffed tote bag of yarn just fell onto my cat. We didn't appreciate it. So this is a skein of Cormo yarn from Ensign Brook Farm. It is so squishy and soft. It's in this beautiful sort of oatmeal-y gray color, which apparently is what I'm drawn to lately. It's a 2-ply, and I can just tell that it's going to be so squishy. I actually already have a hat in mind for this. I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called. I'll put it right here. So it's a DK weight, super squishy, super soft. It is 220 yards and 100 grams. So yeah, about equivalent thickness wise to like Cascade 220, something like that. But because it's a 2-ply and because of just the nature of Cormo being very bouncy, it feels just really luxurious. And it smells so good. I love when yarn still has a little bit of lanolin and you can feel it. You can feel a little bit of like stickiness. And you can smell how sheepy it still smells. I love that smell. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but to me it's very comforting somehow. I guess because it reminds me of the sheep whose fleece this came from. It's a very, it just reminds me of being in a barn and the smell of hay and the sort of warmth of sheep and the feel of their soft little faces. I do love a yarn with lanolin. Okay, so I traveled to the Farm and Fiber tour with Jenny, who is Salmon Graham, and of course Jacqueline Salem, who is my best friend. So we traveled together, and Jenny happened to bring her Ramona cardigan. Sorry, I don't mean to be distracted. I'm just taking this yarn out so that I can get to the other yarn that's in here. Oh, so let me rewind real quick. So we each got a little goodie bag, which was, of course, super fun. Like, who doesn't love a goodie bag? And in each one of the things that we received were 2 felted wool coasters. So these are soft and squishy, and I'm really excited to use them. My current coasters are sort of slabs of a branch, and they're really pretty and I love them, but they don't like grip to the table at all, so I feel like I'm constantly going to send a coaster flying if I pick up my drink or put it down too aggressively. So I'm excited to try these. That made it sound like I'm just like the Hulk, just, I need my tea! I'm sorry. Whew. Okay, all right. Let's get this show back on the road here. So Jenny had brought her Ramona sweater, and I think I've seen her in it before, but it just is the coziest looking sweater. And I had saved the pattern in my queue a while ago when it first came out, because the pattern image is right up my alley. It's like a blush sweater, I think. Or maybe it's a brown sweater on someone who's wearing a blush dress. Something like that. Blush is involved somehow, so of course I was interested. But I wasn't 100% sure how that shape would look on me. So Jenny was kind enough to let me try on her Ramona sweater, and I just fell in love instantly. It's so cozy. It's the perfect, curl up in it sweater. So I knew that I wanted to make one, and I knew that I was going to be on the lookout for yarn for it. So I purchased I purchased 7 skeins of this beautiful deep brown sort of heathered yarn from Battenkill Fiber Mill. Oh, it's so squishy. So even though this is a merino, it definitely has that sort of velvety, squishy texture that I associate more with a Cormo. It's gorgeous. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly what the yardage on each of these was because they don't have information attached, but I had asked Mary Jean at the time because I knew that I wanted to make the Ramona sweater. I calculated that I would need 7 skeins for the Ramona sweater, so that's what I bought. So this was actually a run of seconds because when this yarn was being spun, it was discovered that it gets these little pills even in the spinning process, which is not really okay for them to send to a customer, but since I knew it was there and I had no problem with it, for $7 a skein for 100% merino, yeah, I am perfectly happy just to depill the garment when it's finished. Doesn't bother me a bit. And I love the color. I think it's something that I will wear a lot. I've been really in like a brown, gray kind of place lately as far as what I want to knit with. So super excited to start that. That sound was a message from Candace, Transitory, Pin Feathers and Pearls, Candace. Hi, Candace. I cannot wait to read your message. So that was the other yarn I bought. And then I made a purchase that was just entirely unplanned. I had planned to buy yarn for either the Ramona cardigan or the Ramona light, which is knit in a sport weight. I did not anticipate buying yarn for both, but we went to Foster Sheep Farm and the yarn shop at Foster Sheep Farm, and this just called my name. This is probably my favorite color ever. It was funny actually, the day before I bought this, we made a stop in Kingston for lunch and just to sort of look at the shops on the way up to the Farm and Fiber tour, and there were window frames that were exactly this color, and I had said to Jenny and Jacqueline, this is my favorite color, this gray robin's egg blue, and it was very exciting to find that exact color of yarn, particularly because I adore Carol and I want to support her as much as I possibly can because she's an amazing person and just she's another one who someday when I grow up I'll be like Carol. So this is actually just Cascade 220 Sport, which is not something I usually would think would be quite my style, but this color is just so beautiful, and I just absolutely love it. I love it so much. So this will be a Ramona light with some little tree branch buttons on it, I think, and I can't wait to knit this and wear it. So those were all of my acquisitions from the Farm and Fiber tour. I will have inserted some photos and videos of the Farm and Fiber tour at the beginning of the podcast, so I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, I do have one more acquisition. This is not from the Farm and Fiber tour. This was a gift from my wonderful, wonderful friend Jacqueline, because we just like to get each other stuff. We have kind of an ongoing series. I don't know. We just like getting each other little fun presents. So when Jacqueline ordered this for herself, she also ordered a skein for me. Oh, it's so pretty. It is Nomadic Yarns in the colorway The Burrow, which is a Harry Potter reference. It is where the Weasley family lives, which really felt special to me because it reminds me so much of my parents' house as I was growing up. Just a little quirky and super cozy, and the place that you feel like you could always call home. So this is on the Yak sock base, which is 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. And I love how the yak takes the color. It's just so stunning, and I love these. I already know when I'm going to cast these on. These will be a late summer, early fall cast on because I think they're just so autumnal and gorgeous. So that's all the yarn acquisitions, but I was lucky enough to get some very, very nice mail. And this is not all of the very, very nice mail that I've received recently, but I want to wait until next week to talk about a swap that I did, because I just want to make sure that I give it enough time and that I give everything enough time, and I don't want to feel like I'm rushing through, because these were all incredibly kind gifts, and I want to make sure that everyone knows how appreciated every single one is. So let's start with this one. Catherine from Bed of Roses, she makes these incredible stitch marker and progress keeper necklaces and bracelets and sets, and I have admired them for so long. I checked my mail and I had a package from Catherine, and I could not believe it, you guys. I was so excited. I first fell in love with her work when Carlene from the Made in Carlenergy podcast had shown us a pendant. I think it was one of her pendants, one of her stitch marker pendants that she had purchased, and I just thought it was stunning. So I religiously follow Catherine's Instagram posts, and she noticed that I had liked a particular set of stitch markers, so she made me a more Julie one, which was so sweet. That's how she put it in her card, which was so, so kind. Thank you, Catherine. So this one, oh, it's so cute. This is just a little bracelet, and on it there is a little ring with the bulb progress keepers or stitch markers, which there were, I think, 8 on here originally, but I'm actually using 3 of them right now in my Foxgloves cardigan. And then another ring that has 3 absolutely gorgeous stitch markers. So one is a little piece of metal that I believe she stamped herself with a tiny heart on it. And it has this little stone bead at the bottom. This next one is a lava bead with a tiny leaf, which is excellent. Lava beads, if you don't know about them, are stones that will absorb an essential oil if you put a little bit on it, which is super cool. So I'm excited to put a little bit of lavender oil on my lava bead marker. And then Ah, this last one is so beautiful. They all are, but this was just so thoughtful. This is a little sparrow with a little charm with a stamped J and a little stone with it. Sorry, I'm just arranging them so hopefully when it's close up you'll be able to see everything well. Oh, what a thoughtful present. And as if that wasn't enough, Catherine also sent along one of her beautiful, beautiful stitch marker and progress keeper necklaces. I have loved this necklace in her shop for quite some time. I love this one even more than the one she has in her shop, which is also incredibly beautiful, because I love all of the blush colors, and she just customized this one for me, which was beyond sweet. So it has all these little progress keepers. I'm gonna get real close. Hi. So there's this one that has 2 pink stones. It has 2 pink stones and then a little circle, a little gold circle stamped with a star. And then this sweet little faceted bead in a very slightly blush toned cream. And this little carabiner pendant, which has stitch markers on it, little round stitch markers. This one, which I just love. It's this little bunny. This little stack of 3 pink mineral stones with a stamped J on a little gold circle. And this very sweet little flower combined with 2 additional little pink stones. And it's all strung onto this blush colored leather cord, so that it can be worn as a necklace. And it's so pretty that even if it wasn't made of functional stitch markers and progress keepers, I would still wear it all the time, just because it's so beautiful. But I love the idea of sort of utility disguised as jewelry. Not even disguised really, because it is both. It's absolutely beautiful to look at and it's super useful. So thank you so much, Catherine. And then I also received such a sweet package from my wonderful friend Betsy, who you probably know as E. Klieger on Instagram. So Betsy is just such a sweetheart. I had the opportunity to meet her at Vogue Knitting Live this past year, and we just clicked, and she's a wonderful person. So she sent me just such a sweet package. She sent me this adorable sweater greeting card, and another one still in its package. It's a, oh my gosh, you know, I didn't even realize this was a pack of postcards. I thought it was one postcard because I didn't want to open it because it was so perfect in its packaging. It's okay, guys. I'll just be here trying to get this plastic sleeve off. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize this is a whole pack of sweater postcards. Oh, these are beautiful. Here's this one. Next one. Oh, I love this one. Very classic Lopi style. Sort of diamond cables. Ooh, and this one is gorgeous too. This cabled cardigan, which is right up my alley. I'm a cardigan gal. Oh, Betsy, thank you so much. I think what I am going to do is get these all framed and then display them together. And Betsy is so sweet. She wrote me a letter, which is so sweet. Thank you, Betsy. But we really are, we really have the same tendencies when it comes to pretty stationery, because she said that she couldn't bring herself to write in this beautiful card. So instead she wrote a letter and folded it up and put it inside the card, which is exactly what I would have done. And then she also included this absolutely adorable notepad, which I love. I'm a big fan of grid paper because it doesn't feel like it has the same sort of rigidity as lined paper. I feel more comfortable drawing on it and that sort of thing, but it also makes me feel less intimidated than seeing an entirely blank page of paper that I don't want to write on lest I ruin it. So this is absolutely adorable. I love it. And it's by the same artist as the cards, who is Rowan Morrison. So I will definitely be checking out that artist, because if this is indicative of all of their work, I definitely will add some of it to my collection. I think that about wraps it up for this episode of the Sweet Sparrow Knits podcast. I do still have quite a bit of catching up to do with the Ask Me Anything questions from last time, but I kind of thought with all of the Farm and Fiber Tour stuff, there wouldn't be time for that in today's episode, so I will continue that next episode. Bye! There's a hair on the lens. Let's see if I can do something about that. Sorry. There. This is mohair, I'm telling you. It's getting all over my apartment. It's getting all over my life. Just mohair everywhere. Okay, all right. Okie doke. All right.